All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to FFT. I'm Trevor, and today we're talking about best ball leagues. Is a best ball league right for you? Let's check it out. So, this is the last of a 4-part mini-series where we've discussed different fantasy football leagues like Redraft, Keeper, Dynasty, and now Best Ball. If you want to find out if one of these other leagues is right for you, I recommend checking out one of our other videos that I'll link in the description below. Okay, so what is it? What is a best ball league? Well, from the internet, best ball is a fantasy football format where league managers draft their team, but there's actually no in-season management. Interesting. I guess this means then that there's no waiver wire, there's no in-season trading, and you're never actually going to set up a lineup. This type of league is completely focused on the draft, and then you let it ride. The way it works is that after you complete your draft, your starting roster is actually determined by the players on your team that score the most points, and the computer will do that automatically for you. It will always optimize your lineup after the games have actually completed for that given week to ensure that you receive the most points based on your team. So there's actually no true bench in this way either. This is the type of league that requires the least effort throughout the season, which can honestly be a really positive thing for some players, but actually a pretty negative thing for other players as well. Okay, so let's jump into it though. What are some positives? What's a benefit of joining a best ball league? Well, when it comes to commitment, like I said earlier, this definitely has the least. Both seasoned players and new players can enjoy this type of league because it requires a very little amount of time and honestly a very little amount of effort on your end as well. Once the draft is completed, you can pay as much or as little attention to the league as you want, and how much you pay attention to the league has no outcome on how the team actually performs by the end of the season. Also, drafting in this league is also very different than drafting in any other type of league. Rather than focusing on players with consistently high floors, a popular strategy within best ball is to actually pick players that are a little bit more volatile and maybe have a little bit more potential and risk involved because they pop off at different points throughout the season, but have huge weeks when they do. So it doesn't matter if someone has bad weeks from time to time. As long as someone on your roster pops off, you're good to go. You really just want to make sure that you have enough players on your team and enough diversity that you at least have somebody doing something great each week. Also, if you play fantasy to win money or you really just enjoy the drafting side of fantasy football, this could also be a great league for you in that regard too. Because there's really no in-season management of any kind, you could theoretically join as many of these leagues as you want and just kind of watch your team unfold as the season progresses. Okay, but what are some cons? What are some reasons you should maybe reconsider joining a best ball league? If you're looking for a league to play in and maybe enjoy some time with your friends in a fantasy league, this one definitely isn't for you. Because there's actually nothing to do after the draft, the appeal of engaging with your teammates and league mates actually just goes right out the window. This sort of league really feels like it appeals most to like the basement dwellers of fantasy football. You know, the people that are the big brains but are also the introverts. Yeah, you know who you are. Also, there are very few platforms outside of betting sports books that even support leagues like this. In fact, none of the leagues that I'm in right now even have an option for you to create a best ball league. Generally, only Redraft, Keeper, and Dynasty Leagues are the true options when creating leagues. And finally, it's only one quick thrill. I mean, because of the nature of everything hinging on the draft at the beginning of the season, the thrill of this type of league really just kind of falls away right after the draft. Honestly, I've been in a few best ball leagues in the past, and quite frankly, I've forgotten I even joined them until the end of the season when I check in to see how my team's doing. I swear best ball leagues really feel like a scheme to just get people who enjoy drafting to spend money. That's really what it feels like. Okay, so let's talk rankings. For new players, I actually give best ball leagues a B-. Because of the little effort and the little commitment the best ball leagues take, this can potentially be a great way for new players to try different drafting techniques and different strategies with real money on the line that actually means something. However, you got to keep in mind that drafting in a best ball league is a lot different than any sort of league. So I actually recommend that new players, for their first time joining a league, actually check out redraft leagues and keeper leagues before looking into best ball leagues. Also, knowing how to manage a team and learn the values of players and monitoring the waiver wire, that's all a huge part of fantasy football in my opinion. All right, for seasoned players, I give it a B-. I give seasoned players the same ranking for similar reasons. For players that want to test their drafting skills and try out new techniques, this can be a fun way rather than having to do mock drafts every single day or every single week like I do. But at the same time, after the draft, the league immediately loses any sort of appeal like it does with the other 3 leagues that I've mentioned in my other videos. So sure, best ball has its place, but in order to have the full experience, you really need all the other aspects of fantasy football that best ball lacks. And honestly, who really wants a computer playing for you anyway? That takes the entire joy out of the thing. Overall, I give best ball leagues a C+. Yeah, this actually ranks one of the lowest compared to the other 3 types of fantasy leagues. This league doesn't really scratch the itch for either new players or seasoned players. Best ball has some fun aspects for both parties, but really struggles to capture the true essence of fantasy football that the other 3 leagues do. Well, that's it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments if you disagree with my rankings. And please like this video and subscribe if you want to see some more FFT content. Until then, I'll catch you next time. See you guys.